Missouri. Okay, we talked about the descent over the last few years. That's been obvious, but we also talked about the lifeblood of any program, David, being recruiting. Number 39, 25, last 2 years, 43 and 50 in the nation. That's not going to get it done anywhere in the SEC. What do you think about Mizzou?
It's hard to see. I mean, of course, they were so bad last year. Can you say they're trending down? So I guess, I guess status quo for Missouri. What happened on defense, I think, is the biggest question. They've always been able to rely on their defense, and we talked about the key players in Charles Harris and Michael Scherer, Arian Pitton. But those guys are gone, and we really thought those guys would be able to carry this defense, and they weren't. That was one of the SEC's worst defenses in allowing 31.5 points per game. That's good for 12th in the league, and an SEC worst 479.7 yards per game. So it was something we've known Missouri to be good at, something we've known they can rely on, and they weren't able to rely on it at all. So we saw Drew Lock come in at quarterback and have to throw the ball all over the field. And when successful against teams that, necessarily they could outpower. They only averaged 21.3 points per game against Power 5 opponents. So, they were feasted on out-of-conference opponents, out-of-conference weak cupcakes, as we call it. But when they faced SEC teams, they went into SEC play. They only averaged 22.6 points per game. So it was a tale of two Missouri teams. If you didn't play in the SEC, they racked up yards. When they played in the SEC, you saw their issues. So it's, I guess, next step is can they make a bowl game? Can Missouri find the rally or find a way, rally the troops under Barry Odom? He took over defensive play calling late last year. Would that be something we see again going into next year? But Drew Lock, I like what I saw from him. Can he take the next step and be more of a force in SEC conference games? Can they beat the teams in the lower tier SEC, the Vanderbilts? Can they beat Kentucky? Can they beat South Carolina to get back to bowl respectability?